Go ahead. I will share the recording with you.
Okay. Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are back to this session. We had a slight glitch because our PDG, Alison, who has been magnanimous enough to provide us not only with her experience and expertise in peace building to help us co-assess participants, but also helped us with the platform needed to catch up with other Rotary engagements. With that, we've been able to migrate to another platform, and the proficiency test will continue accordingly. So we now want to invite the next presenter. We still have our judges on the call. We have Rotarian Ignatius Onyekwere, a Rotary Peace Fellow and Focal Coordinator for West Africa of the Rotary Peace Fellow alumni. We have AG and Assistant District Secretary Emeka Ilebunam, who is the National Chairman of Positive Peace Activators in Nigeria. We have Rotarian BC with us, who is the Oyo State Peace Coordinator for the Rotary Action Group for Peace, and also a Positive Peace Activator for West and Central Africa. And of course, you have my humble self on the call, the National Chairman of the Rotary Action Group for Peace, a cadre officer, and an IEP Positive Peace Activator as well. We are restarting the session with Rotarian Maureen, who will be making the next presentation. Please, Ma, you have the floor.
Okay, please, are you able to share my slides? I can't just see anything anymore.
Oh, please, can anyone see my screen?
Yes, we can
Yes,
see it.
Yes, I can see your screen.
It's shared, right? Eight
Yes,
pillars.
it is.
Okay,
Eight
yes.
pillars
Yes,
of
it
positivity.
I'm actually going to be talking blind, but if I can't see anything from my phone. So
Please, can you swipe your phone? You need to see what you are presenting, Ma. You have to see what you are presenting, so we know that you're actually the one with the work, and you take ownership of it and work with us. Okay.
I don't know what happened. Maybe I should just get out and get back in.
Okay, so we'll step you down for now and invite the next person. Okay,
please.
all right, ma. Who is on this call that is ready to make his or her presentation? Because I think yes. Amina Billy.
Yes, please.
Do I have your slide?
Yes, you do.
Please, what's the title?
Strengthening peace for ending local corruption.
Okay, let me quickly dig it up. Is my screen visible now?
Yeah. Thank you. Can I start?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. All protocols observed. My name is Amina Magdalene Billy, and I am honored to share with you the topic that deeply affects the peace and development of our community, which is strengthening the peace of existing and ending the local corruption in Nigeria. I'm focusing on all the local governments in Nigeria because this problem is a general problem. It's not just one local government. My pillar is low levels of corruption. That's my positive peace pillar. Let me take you through the slides. I'll be introducing you on what peace is. Because where there is no peace, there is war. But the presence of justice, equity, and transparency is where positive peace hinges on. It's just low corruption and trust people and their leaders. Where there's no corruption, there is trust. Next slide, please. what we understand by corruption, abuse of power, because it's privately exist in various forms. We have top government officials embezzling funds, bribing people, nepotism, all of it. Recently, we have a report of mismanagement of funds in Nigeria, 5 states: Abia, Imo, Nigeria, Zamfara. And these funds were meant for local government projects, diverted, and till date, they are unaccounted for. This has led to poor service delivery, weak infrastructure, and the public, they are very resented right now. Next slide, please. And how does this impact peace? How does corruption impact peace in our local government? Because this is very devastating. When the communities don't receive the basic amenities, of course, unemployment rises, crimes increases, and the trust for governments is nowhere to be found. And this will definitely breed tension. There will be protests everywhere like we see. And in worst cases, violence. What is our proposed solution to this? How can we end local corruption? We have a lot to do, but how can we end it? First most, I'll say we are strengthening monitoring of the community, as in locally. Maybe we'll have to track the budget, do some kind of auditing of public funds, digitalize financial records. I know that we have some of them that are ongoing, but we should make it more in payment of facilities like lights. Everything should be digital, payment of insurance, vehicle particulars. There shouldn't be any human interface. Let it all be digital. We should empower our youth and the civil society to hold leaders accountable, encourage whistleblowers, and we need to have some kind of protection for them. You know, laws should be put in place that if you blow whistle, you're covered. And we should also encourage anonymous platforms where people can actually blow the whistle and nobody's tracing them for security reasons. Most people are discouraged because the fear of being killed. Now, positive peace in action. When corruption is tackled, development definitely strives. Roads are built, schools and hospitals function, and peace is more than just a dream, it becomes a reality. Community-led oversight builds trust and unity in all truthfulness. So to strengthen peace in Nigeria, we must confront corruption at the grassroots. That is where we have to start from. So I will say we need to work together as Rotarians, as citizens of this country. We need to work with the government, with the civil societies, the youths, to ensure accountability and justice becomes the new normal. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that presentation. Well, the floor is open, and I can see that ADSMEC already unmuted to begin the harassment. My ADS, you have the floor.
I was only testing. I was only testing myself, my share. So, oh dear. Anyway, but I'm also suffering from epileptic connectivity, so I'm not even sure whether you can hear me. That's why I was trying to test myself. Can you hear me, my chair?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, sir. Hello,
you
my
hear me?
chairman. Yes, we can hear you. Please proceed. Oh, wow.
Okay, so okay, you caught me there, so I was only because I haven't connectivity problems. So, all right. So, but if I may make a comment, well done, Billy. Nice presentation. So, just in case you are hearing me, I say it's a nice presentation.
I can
I'm
hear
just going
you.
to say
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to say one or two things. So, the caption of your presentation says ending local corruption. I think we need to address that. There's nothing like local corruption. Corruption is corruption, whether it is local or foreign. All right. So if you are talking about ending corruption at lower levels of government or mid-level of government, or then you better put it clearly that that's what you're dealing with. But when you say local corruption, the first thing that came to my mind is that is there a local corruption and a foreign corruption? And I was trying to get the context of that. So that's number one. Then number two is so as you were talking, you were gisting us very, very well, but there must be a difference between a presentation to a group of people, like a club, like I said the other time, and action propositioning. See, let me tell you something. You talked about empower people to blow whistle, people accountability. If I come to tell you that, look, I want to actually work on, empowering or teaching people local budgeting as a means of promoting accountability for the purpose of lowering corruption. What do you think about that? That is a practical thing I say I want to do. Then if you ask me, how do you want to do it? I'm going to say, I will select people, youth from this, and I'm going to bring them in. I'm going to get facilitators. I will teach them how to do basic accounting and do that. You see what I'm trying to say? So it becomes an actionable thing. But what you read out to us is a speech of what, empower people, blow whistle, blow this and that and that. But what do you want to do? What is the action plan? I didn't get it. So that's my challenge with the presentation. It is a speech, not an actionable presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my chairman. I want to move to Rotarian BC now to give her assessment.
Yeah, thank you very much for another opportunity. Well, was like the last speaker read my notes. The first thing I said is, what is local corruption? And thank God he has elaborated on that. As nice as the presentation was, it felt kind of cold. I was looking for some energy in it. And like he said, it looked more like a discussion than a presentation. You could do better. I'm sure you can do better. Yeah, I don't want to repeat all the things that have been said, but I think that for this kind of nice topic, but like I said, you need to put more energy, you need to elaborate more, and you need to do some more exposition of this. And let the actions you want to put into it, let them be explainable. They were so, I don't want to use the word cold. But
Okay.
you tried.
Thank you very much, my esteemed judge. I want to now move
I
to
said local
Ignatius.
corruption because my case studies on local.
Please, we would invite you to talk when the time comes. Rotarian Ignatius, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Rotarian Zimorin.
Amina Billy.
Okay, Amina Billy, okay. Thank you for that presentation. I have a problem with your presentation a little bit or more. I don't know, but let me just say what I feel and what I observe. There's what they call conflict sensitivity approach or ethical considerations when you're writing projects. When you're quoting billions of being spent under corruption, you did not show any reference to that. And if you are presenting this in maybe in a wider audience, the first question they'll ask you is, who told you? What is the source? You see what I'm saying? And that could even destabilize your presentation immediately. So you have to take into consideration when you're presenting to ensure that all those figures, all those, especially when it comes to corruption, there are quite sensitive issues that you have to really reference. At least if you would have seen UNDP, or you would have seen African Development Bank, or we have seen a crisis group,
Transparency International,
or Amnesty International, that would have been interesting, but don't just quote stuff without referencing properly, and that could jeopardize your presentation, or or lead to abrupt stoppage to your presentation. So that's on one. And again, when you say that this project is covering all local government areas, I will just begin to wonder, how this gonna have 775 or whatever local governments, areas, you're trying to deal on corruption. I imagine, we would have loved to have turned it down to a pilot project, maybe using IBIA or using one local government to do that. That would have made make your work easier, because if you have to do all local government, means that you have to give all the details or data of all the information regarding to corruption in each and every one of this local government in your proposal, if you have to do that. So basically, this is where I have to put up my own little observation. But I still believe that it's not really strong. It's not yet the proposal is not yet there. There's still some work to do, which Emeka, which my ADS I've mentioned, the engineer, Emeka has mentioned. So I think if we can really fill those gaps, the chair can use his discretion to get it going. But for me, at the moment, as at now, as I've seen everything, I think I'm not really I don't really think that you are yet there to be, to scale through this. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that submission. I want to really re-emphasize the issue of referencing. When you come out with especially name shaming, you must disassociate yourself by saying, according to these people. It's not just about you being destabilized in your presentation. It could land you behind bars when you're saying a certain XYZ state, corruption allegation, and then you're making it seem as if it's your assessment. So it's really, really risky in terms of peace building, conflict sensitivity, and scapegoating, as the case may be. With that said, obviously the judges are not satisfied. So we would like you to really freshen up those interventions, whistleblowing. What are the interventions or programs or projects that will give us the deliverable or output of enabling that whistleblowing? It shouldn't just be a wishful thinking. What do you want to do, to track budget, to enhance transparency and all those things? So for now, it's also a no from me till you really cross your T's and dot your I's. Thank you very much. I don't know if Rotary Maureen is ready for us now. If she is not ready,
Yes, I am, please.
okay, ma, are you
I
sure
am, please. But I will still need you to share my slides, please.
Certainly I shall, just to be sure that you can see the screen this time around. Let me know if that's the case, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, ma.
Okay, yes, I can see.
Beautiful. You have the floor, please.
So, my name is Maureen Mache. I've already introduced myself, so I'll just quickly go on. So on the 8 pillars of positive peace, I've chosen to talk about the relationship, the promoting good relations with neighbors in my community as the estate within which I live in. So, and why I have chosen this, I have noticed that over the period of 7 to 8 years in which I have lived in this community, I've observed that neighbors do not know each other. It is as bad as me not knowing who lives next door to me. And this lack of relationship has led to simple altercations being handled that could have been handled amicably, blown out of proportion, to the extent of calling the police on each other, and emergency situations escalating for lack of timely intervention. As I mean, emergency health situation like the one I have witnessed. So next slide. So on the short term, I would like to create a directory of residents. I'm starting with my street. I would like to start with my street. Possibly go from house to house or create flyers with my contact details and leave these flyers at gates with the security men. Then introduce myself, ask for phone numbers so I could create a WhatsApp group. Collect these numbers and invite everyone for a general meeting where neighbors are able to introduce themselves to each other, at least have that one-on-one facial interaction and share contact details. The main objective will be to establish some ground rules, code of conduct for residents, and maybe steps for conflict resolution. This meeting could be turned into monthly meetings and maybe rotated for more bonding between the residents. And I'm looking at that with the success of this meeting, the WhatsApp platform could be used for further beneficial purposes, such as sharing health tips, low-cost budget shops, and even advertising each other's businesses, thereby promoting further growth and development in that area. We could also organize local events. I plan to, champion that, organize local events such as fairs, national holiday celebrations, like Christmas, Salah celebrations for the children, and even music shows. All these still for building better relationships and creating bonds between ourselves. Next slide. Okay, and in the long run, really, medium to long-term results of this, with the success expected, I would identify people in other streets to share this idea so that it can cascade to other members on the street or residents on the street. And eventually, the whole community will be covered with a view to having expanded group platforms for faster and more coordinated spread of peace-building relationships. So this will also help raise timely alarm in any incidents of security issues, thereby promoting stability and security in the community. Next slide. Next slide, please. So actually, in preparing for this presentation, I now discovered that the whole 8 pillars can be achieved, or rather contained within this pillar of building good relations with neighbors if implemented well, like achieving low levels of corruption, with the transparency and accountability that members are expected to exhibit to each other, or when we're recording meeting attendance and such things. Then it could also, even in the area of acceptance of rights of others, acceptance and tolerance of each other's rights and the diversity, where none of us are, maybe 2 or 3 people on the street could be from the same area. And this is a street that contains more than 80 residents. So definitely there's going to be diversity in maybe religions, towns, and so on. Free flow of information. There will be access to reliable information through the WhatsApp information that's shared on the WhatsApp group that is created. Then sound business environment. Yes, on the WhatsApp group, we intend to, I intend that it should also grow into sharing business, advertising our businesses to each other on the platform. So this will also create business-friendly environment. So even equitable distribution of resources, like when we have the fairs, the music shows, and so on. Of course, resources for this will be shared equally among residents. Whatever is realized, if we decide to open it up to the whole community, not just residents on my street. So these are what I plan to, the intervention I plan to execute in my community to broker better relationship. Thank you.
Wow. I needed to revisit the title of the topic again, so we have this context in mind. 8 pillars of positive peace, promoting good relations with neighbors. Okay, my esteemed judges, this time around I'll be starting with Rotarian Ignatius. You have the floor, please. You are muted, sir.
Thank you so much, last speaker, on your presentation. If I could start with the topic of your presentation. I think what I saw there is 8 pillars of positive peace. I don't know if I'm correct. That's what they say. That's the topic. If I'm correct, if I'm not correct, you correct me.
No, please. Topic is building relationship.
Okay, maybe that's what I see. Building relationship in
with
sorry.
neighbors, good relations with neighbors, promoting good
Neighbors.
relations with neighbors. Yes,
Okay, that's right. That's right. That's right. Still the same. That a positive piece. Promoting good relationship. But that's okay. Under it. Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
So my only worries here is that, and if you look at your recommendations, of interventions, I assume that this project had to be sent to UN, or to send to the Rotary Foundation or any funding agency or any partner to fund this project. How much? What do you think could be the possible cost to it? Because all that I've seen in terms of your recommendations, and they are quite descriptive. Even if when you have to do them, they are not quite tangible projects that have to really address these issues that you mentioned. So from my own perspective, I'm just giving my honest opinion. I've tried to tie one or two things together. It's not working for me. And again, at the last of it, your summary, the call for action should have been things, is quite different from, stating other pillars of positive peace. Could have been something that have to really, it mustn't mention those stuff. It must have to be programs or activities that, or that have to address these things without mentioning them. So for me, I still believe that it doesn't work for me. That they still have to tidy up one or two things. But let me allow my colleagues here to really make their own input. But for me, as at the moment, it doesn't work for me. Thank you.
Thank you, my judge. Let me invite Rotarian BC. Perhaps you will have a different opinion.
Thank you very much, President Moren. I think I will start with your opening slide. I think it could have been kind of been reversed. Because for me, immediately I saw it, 8 pillars of positive peace. I thought that was the topic you are treating, and I was like, how will she treat the 8 pillars of positive peace within this short moment? So the slide, you could have reversed it, promoting good um, relations with neighbors. You should have carved this in a better way. And let that be your topic rather than, for me, your topic says pillars of positive peace, which should not be anyway. So, but apart from that, I don't want to repeat what has been said. You still need to work more on your presentation. The the, the issues you raised, good issues, but the workability and how you are going to execute them, you still need to explain better. You need to work better on them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, my judge. ADS Emeka, please, you have the floor, sir. My ADS, you are muted if you are talking, please. Okay. Perhaps we've lost ADS Emeka to network. I know he's been coming in and out. For me, I think this is actually quite practical at the microcosm.
No, my chairman, sorry. My chairman, sorry.
Okay.
I beg to jump in here because my system knocked me off, and I think you need to arbitrate when we have done. Sorry about that. And the reason I want to jump in is because this time around, I am 180.
My ADS, we are struggling to hear you. Oh.
The other side of Ignatius. So I just want to make it clear so that you can be the arbiter eventually.
I don't know if anybody was able to make out something from that. Did you make out anything from what you said?
Not at all. Not
Okay.
at all.
My ADS.
Sorry if I should continue. Sorry, I might.
We can't hear you. Okay. Let's give him some time.
I don't know if I can continue. My network is messing up.
Yes, please start afresh. We didn't get anything you said earlier.
Okay, so quickly, I just say that I am 180 degrees the other side of what my friend and brother Ignatius said. I think the presentation for me was good. Let me say exactly what I mean. What I look for a presentation is how will you do what you say you want to do? Actionable steps, which parties are involved, stakeholders, and so on and so forth. Can you still hear me, my chair? Because I can see.
Yes, we can.
It's like you're frozen.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? It's like you're frozen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please proceed.
All right. So for me, I think this is one presentation I found that is intentional, is purposeful, dynamic, it's stepwise, and is also scalable, and therefore achievable. That's my summary of this presentation. Yes, I totally agree that the topic is wrong. Okay, that can easily be revised. But when I look at how will this be done, I mean, what is the issue? How will it be done? What are the actionable steps? What are the parties involved? You know, is this scalable? What I just want you to add to this, in my own opinion, is risk assessment. Be a little bit sensitive when you gather people's phone numbers and so on and so forth. You can tell us also that you are going to take steps to ensure that the use of those phone numbers will be in line with the Data Protection Usage Act and things like that, and so on and so forth. So you don't, create another tension or another issue out of building peace. So you can put risk assessment into it. So quite frankly, this is a stepwise, scalable, diligent, purposeful thing that is meant for a community. And in peace building, I totally agree. I'm of the opinion that we should act, within our own sphere, and then we scale it up and scale it up. So this is a community and a state, that you want to start doing this, gather people together first, let them know themselves, and then relate to issues that concern them. And then, of course, it can be replicated in other communities and in other estates. That's really how, for me, we can practically build a positive change. So my chair, this presentation for me is a yes, 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 provided that that topic, which I totally agree with my brother Ignatius and this. That's me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my ADS. I totally align with you. I felt the same way as well. It was very practical, very grassroots driven, very actionable. I mean, it's a project that it's not every project that we need the kind of resources from UN that would need all those baseline assessments and things of those nature. This is addressing grassroots issues of being able to relate with your neighbor. We all know how these things are in Abuja here. In my estate, I'm not even sure I know more than 2 people's name out of like 10 of us.
Yeah.
So it's very common and I can relate. And just like you mentioned, conflict sensitivity, data protection, when you gather this information, let it not fall into wrong hands. You need those assurances so that you are not also identified and said, since when Maureen took my number, that was how they kidnapped my wife. Things like that could be really, really issues that we can't handle. So yes, it's also a yes for me. And I love the grassroots approach. The elementary, I think it was too elementary that we actually might have overlooked the crux of it. So yes, I really align with you on that, please. Thank you very much, Rotarian Blessing Machi, for that presentation. I think, as the judges have said, twig it, bring that good relations on top, because one thing I also loved about your project or your intervention was that it reinforced the whole 8 pillars of peace. Every positive peace pillar had a part to play. So just twitch it, bring down that the one under, bring it on top, and then have the 8 pillars of positive peace under, and then it will look more like it. You are good to go. Thank you very much, judges, for that assessment. Do we have and then for those of you sending me your presentation to share, the problem with that is that I wouldn't be able to take your screenshot while presenting, which I usually like doing. So that way, even if whatever, it will be on record that you were presenting and your slide is showing side by side to show ownership. But I'm beginning to get lots of slides to share, but if that is what you are most convenient with, I will struggle a bit, but I will put it up. So do we have someone here who needs me to put up his or her slide? I'm no longer following the list, considering that we've been a bit destabilized and the number is fewer. So if you're on the call, you are in our list for presentation tonight, and we have your slide. Kindly let us know so I project it immediately.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
myself, I'm
Okay, sir.
available.
I'm available too, Makinde.
Okay, Makinde, did you send me your slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think
if you want-
Sylvanus might have. Proceed, Makinde. What are you saying? Did you
Okay,
just
but
say it now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But if you want me to present it from my side, no problem.
Okay, you can share from your slide, right? You can share. Let me give you host authorities. When you are done, you send it back to me.
Okay, sir.
Okay, excellent. Let me do just that while I will be downloading Sylvanus. Sylvanus, can you do the same when the time comes?
Not really, because I'm using my
Okay.
phone at this.
No problem. I'll share for you. Just wanted to be sure.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible now?
Yes, it is. Please proceed.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Makinde Kazim. I want to make a presentation on measuring positive peace at the local level, insight from OGD estate community. The essence of this presentation is to assess the 8 pillars of positive peace in Ashero community. Then we now highlight the strengths or the weaknesses in any of those pillars. Then we now recommend intervention on how to go in addressing the weakness or the weak pillar of that particular community. OGD Estates is a community located in Abeokuta, State, Nigeria. The community consists of a wide range of professionals, such as entrepreneurs and civil servants, rather. What method or the techniques did we use to assess these 8 pillars in Ashero community? The study engaged in a cross-sectional survey, whereby we develop a questionnaire, electronic questionnaire, based on 5 points Likert scale. And this questionnaire was distributed to members of the estate community, particularly just about 24 of them were selected. 24 of them were selected, and this is the sample of the message at the right-hand side that was sent to the members of the estate community. The 24 adults were requested to indicate their opinion on each of the 8 pillars of positive peace, which ranges from 1 to not at all to 5 greater extent. So the findings were grouped into 2: the socio-demographic, that is the distribution of the gender by age group, and the main result of the 8 pillars. For the socio-demographic distribution, the age group of 43 to 45 years old were just 2 for male, and there were 8 for male and 1 for female. Age group of 40 to 42 years were 4 male and 2 female. Then the age group of 49 to 52 years were 2 for male and 7 for female. So these are the 8 pillars of the 8 pillars dimension of the estate. Their groupings, that is from not at all to greater extent. And we now calculated the mean score. It was this mean score that we now used to now judge the level of each of the pillars. And as we can see here, the weakest one has to do with the high levels of human capital, with a mean score of 1.4, implying not at all, which means that high level of human capital is lacking in that community. So this is just the visualization of the 8 pillars, indicating their mean score. The highest one is the free flow of information, which is a good one. They have strengths in free flow of information, but the emphasis now is on the weak pillar, which is high levels of human capital, with a mean score of 1.40. So now, we now made our recommendation based on these high levels of human capital. So these are the recommendations. The recommendations were in 4 phases to strengthen the weak pillar of human capital in Aseru community. So I'll be starting from right to left. The first one is youth engagements. This may consist organizing after-school programs or holiday workshops for younger residents, and they can focus on a kind of digital literacy, creative arts, and the rest. So the second one is the job opportunity. The estate can establish a kind of a job form or a job opportunity platform where residents can be posting or sharing any job opportunity within that platform. Then the third one is the vocational training. The vocational training, it could be exploring partnerships with vocational schools. It could be vocational training by establishing partnership with vocational schools, polytechnics, or NGOs in Abeokuta. And the fourth one is skill sharing mentorship, where the residents or professionals in that community can come together and share their experiences or their knowledge in a particular field, or for instance, now it could be a basic computer skill sharing, tailoring, digital, and the rest. So on the conclusion, the study concluded that OGD estate community have a moderate extent of positive peace. Then the estate can leverage on its existing strengths, which is the information flow and its business environment. Then this can further systematically address the identified weaknesses in high levels of human capital, whereby fostering more robust and sustainable level of positive peace within the community. So thank you very much. Everyone can can get involved. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that presentation. Before our judges chime in, I want to really ask, what do you mean by moderate level of positive peace?
Yes, from the questionnaire we distributed, let me go back to that screen. This screen.
What is your definition of positive peace, sir?
Yes, positive peace is the absence of violence in a particular community.
That is negative peace. That is negative peace. Be that as it may, I just wanted to unblur that line, because when you say moderate level, positive peace talks about the institutions, how mutually reinforcing, how efficient, how effective institutions that are responsible for the sustainability of positive peace in a community, how functional are they? So when you say moderate, I begin to struggle, you know, and that was why I needed that clarity. What you had in mind there is negative peace. I don't know if you want to clarify further.
Yes, from the survey I did, I took a 5-point Likert scale from 1 to 5, and then I now look for the mean score. So this is the ratings for the mean score. In the aggregates, this is the weighted average, which is the mean score of 2.89, giving a moderate extent for all the 8 pillars, the aggregate of the 8 pillars, using these ratings. For 1 to 1.8, it means that there is the absence of positive peace in that community, aggregates everything together. But for 1.81 to 2.80, give a small extent of positive peace in that community, and up to the last one.
Okay. Well understood. At this juncture, I want to invite our very seasoned judges. Please keep in mind that these judges are not novice. So when you start conceptualizing some things, you're just wasting your time. We're actually here to assess your ability to apply the methodologies and concepts. So with that said, I would like to start this session by inviting ADS Emeka to lead the way. My ADS, you have the floor, sir. Is ADS, yeah, okay. My chairman, we can't hear you if you're talking. Okay. It's been booted out by network. My dears, are you there now? Okay. Rotarian Olabisi. The network is getting worse. I always like reserving our ruthless judge to nail the coffin and the casket. Dr. Ignatius, you go start. Please go easy on Makinde, please.
What do you do? No. Once somebody have done a good work, there's no need to really panic. I think congratulations, Rotary KO Makinde. I would say that you've done a very great job, because I love data-driven, research or recommendation, because you went straight to do a kind of survey, and from your survey, even when you are describing what you describe as a moderate whatever, I think it also came from your Likert analysis or whatever, so which is really a very good methodological approach, to give us a very let's bring out the originality of your own work and your own perception of what positive peace is. In fact, sorry, my chair, I would like to have his contact because I think we're also going to draw more things from this analysis stuff because
Beautiful.
yeah, we're going to draw more other things from his research because you know, we've been depending on
the foreign people, right?
Yeah, the global peace index and the fragile state index and all the rest of them. So we could put that thing together and localize our own analysis of this, what this is all about, and you know, make a local content. So I don't want to say much on this. I think for me, it works all well for me. Congratulations, K.O. Makinde, and looking forward to know you more. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, my judge. K.O. Makinde, please feel free to key in your number and your email on the chat. Veteran Ignatius is a highly
Look for me
connected
on
veteran.
LinkedIn. Just add me up on LinkedIn if you're on LinkedIn. That'd be also.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Also add him up. He's a consultant for UN entities. When they share the money, remember us. Yes. I don't know if ADS Emeka is back with us now. I know that network. My ADS.
Yeah, I think I'm back. Network is dealing with me, dealingly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one presentation I found very intriguing. And I mean that in every sense. It's very creative, and I really listened to it very well. First of all, the presentation itself is very panoramic. I loved it so much. Now, the other thing is that I see a systems thinking, you know, pulling all the positive pillars, I mean, all the pillars of positive peace all along, which also I found in Maureen's presentation, and I forgot to mention it there. And another thing I found here is that the things we are seeing are empirical, which means someone went out to look at something and say, this is what it looks like, and then be able to, like, you know, put it in numbers. Okay, so this I'm really very fascinated about. So well done, Roteda Makinda. I really love this.
Yes,
in any case, on the other side of it, I must say something. An academic research is an academic research. And I had, you know, my brother, Dr. Ignatius, talking about, you know, independence, evaluation, and so on and so forth. So for this kind of a thing, we need to be very careful about what we apply for IEP ambassadorial appointment. But I'm sure that my chair here will be able to think that through, because one of the things I question when it comes to academic research is, how did you validate your indices? What, did you benchmark it? What tool did you use to validate it? To ensure that if it is thrown into an academic community, they will say, yes, the basis upon which you drew your Likert scale is valid, and it stands the test of criticism in terms of intellect, because it's an intellectual level you are going to right now. Remember that IEP is the institution in terms of using indices to quantify and qualify peace, terrorism, ecological disaster, and so on and so forth. And you can agree with me that for them to get those indices, they must have been beaten forth and back, black and blue, for people to even find it acceptable. So when Dr. Ignatius was critiquing one of the presentation of somebody who gave us statistics about corruption, he mentioned clearly that you must reference it. And you know, you don't just have to reference anything that is not known. You have to reference a journal or a platform that people know have validity, you know, the confidentiality, credibility, and so on and so forth. So that is where I am holding my breath on this particular presentation. And so this is me here now saying I am fascinated. I'm extremely excited. I must tell you the truth. So, but in the context of what we are doing, IEP ambassadorial nomination and appointment, and we are bringing in an academic research, a kind of, not academic, but it's a kind of, because it's a survey. So my question will be, the people you gave the questionnaire, what is their basic understanding of, the scales to measure good governance, to measure good relationship with one another, to measure low levels of corruption, to measure respect for the right of others. If I take the same, the same questionnaire you use in that community, and I give it to another community, is it repeatable? Because in survey, one of the attributes a survey must have for it to be able to pass is what? Repeatability.
Yes.
Validity, which we know we have tools and techniques which we apply when we carry out survey to test validity. I don't know, the chi-square method and so that, I'm sure the way you are going, you're a researcher yourself. I think you have academic stint. So that's why I'm mentioning what I'm mentioning. So there are basic tools and techniques you use to validate the indices and the measures you use to arrive at research questions and be able to present it to people who can critique it. Because you might come out and discover that the basis upon which you are asking people to judge, a particular positive piece may be different from what IEP is looking at.
Mm.
And what they are looking at, we asked them these questions when we had our training. How acceptable? What is the validity and so on and so forth of what you are doing? And they took us through the rigors of what they have gone through with countries, with continents, with governments before they are able to sign on all the GPI, ecological threat disaster, and so on and so forth,
Yes.
they are measuring. So my chair, you can see my point here. I am, honestly speaking, I like creativity.
Yeah.
I like, research. I like, people daring the status quo. I am up for this, and I really, 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 really am excited. I love it. However, you also get my caveat here.
Yes.
So that's where I'm going to keep it.
Thank you very much for that very comprehensive.
Chair, I want to give you whenever I want to give you 1 minute. I want to respond to say 1 minute. I will respond to
Okay.
Emeka. So my ADS Emeka Ebula. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I think you said it all. In terms of research, academic research, and the rest, as you mentioned, as you compared this research and with the GPI, what we are looking at sometimes in research is not actually the replicability in some cases. But when it has the originality that follows the methodological approach, we can begin to give it a more listening and also probe further. That probing further here is just why I said I would like to see him more. Let's see how he really get all this how he designed his methodology, how he carried it out, how he come to every bit of what I said. Then we can look for validation of such. The validation is something that also we as local people here in that community, you can bring in CSOs, CBOs, other people who are working in that area to come and validate those reports or whatever. And that could be a standard for measuring the level of peacefulness in that particular community, which means that we can get an ideal local ownership of research process and research, research output, from his methodology to be, then before we begin to look at if we want to extend it to other communities. That's what I'm just trying to say. But it's not like it's going to stand in place of GPI or FSI, all those highly reputable, index analysis, by IEP or by Fund for Peace and all the rest of them. That's all I want to clear out here. Thank you.
But ironically,
I agree with you, sir. No problems at all. You are actually saying exactly what I'm saying. So I think we're on the same point. So it's not a problem at all.
Yes. Ironically, those revered institutions now still human beings generate those data. So, so it's about the procedure and frameworks. I think Makinde was a bit conservative in how he arrived in his findings. I'm sure if we probe further, you'll find out that those indices he mentioned had other components which helped him arrive at those wholesome figures in terms of what really constitutes good governance as a questionnaire that they would have filled out. How functional is the estate? What is the service charge? How is it expended? Is there transparency and all those things? So we just use our imagination to fill in the blanks and just give him the benefit of doubt. I think, Makinde, the judges have given you some very good recommendation. My judges love data. Unfortunately, I'm not a data person. I'm more of a theoretical person. So when they get blown away by data like that, I just sit down, they look them. Yeah, so it's indeed a pass for us. Once the judges are satisfied, I am satisfied. So congratulations, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, please stop sharing. Silvanus, I guess. I think you are next. Are you ready for us? I understand I'm sharing for you. Makinde, please stop sharing now. Thank you. Thank you. Silvanus, are you there, Silvanus? Oh, okay. Are you sure Silvanus is still with us? Please, who is with us that is yet to make a presentation? Silvanus, you're online now. Can you hear us? If you are speaking, we can't hear you. Okay, we have our judge back. Rotarian BC is back with us. We called you earlier, man, but I saw you were struggling with network.
Yeah, I had issues with my network. I was logged out like twice.
Oh, sorry about that.
Hopefully back and stable.
Okay, Silvanus, if you need to present, you have to present now, because once we close, I'm done with this. Do we have anyone who is yet to present on the call? Do we have anyone? I understand Rotarian Blessing Machi has presented, Engineer Cooley has presented, Veronique, Makinde, Juliet, Benga. Chika, are you presenting? Chika Wagu, are you presenting? Innocent Tabu, Amos, Lydia.
No, I'm not. I'm learning.
Beautiful. I love that, madam. Dr. Latutu is not presenting, my personal person. Precious Jewel, are you presenting? Toby, are you presenting? Silvanus, we're about to wind down, and once we wind down, we'll not be attending to this again. Okay. I think he's really struggling with his network. Okay, I will yield the floor now to our judges to make their closing remark and appreciate everyone. I would like to first invite Rotarian BC to please give us her closing remarks and appreciation.
Well, my chairman, fellow Rotarians, Positive Peace Activators, it's indeed been a very well spent evening. On this side, aside from being a judge, I've also learned a lot. I've learned from co-judges, I've learned from presenters. It's been a very well spent evening, and I appreciate the opportunity. And I do hope that we have all learned something, and it will, push us forward to doing better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my passionate activator. Thank you for your time, and thank you for doing a tremendous work, judging rigorously through those presenters. Silvanus is still struggling to rejoin. I wish him the best of luck in that effort. And I hope while we're bidding farewell, he could just have a steady network to make his presentation. If else, we wish him well as well. Dr. Ignatius, please, sir, you have the floor. Your final remarks and appreciation.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I appreciate everybody's participation in this program today. Really, that we are judges does not mean that we know better than you, but we are here to help you. Sometimes we also will be on your side. We sit on the side where you are, and somebody will be questioning us, and we'll be sweating like the way you are sweating. So it's not only a one-directional thing. But I want to use the opportunity to thank you for the effort you have put in so far. All we are doing is to create that opportunity where people are trained and they, such a way that when they represent IEP and Rotary, we ensure that they are really qualified, and they are saying things that will not put us into trouble. They are presenting things that they have researched well, and also they know very well. So on that note, I would like to thank Lieutenant Dr. Pietro and all co-judges who are here for that effort. I know we've been sitting here for the past hour and above. I don't know whether it's up to 2 hours now. I don't know, but nonetheless, we don't count time in this kind of crucial and important, assignment. That is why we are Rotarians. We have to really put in our treaties, time, treasure, and
Talent.
and talent. So the talent is here, so I have to thank all of us for for our time, for all these riches, and then hopefully giving Dr. Pietro my assurance that whenever he's doing things like this, and invite me, I'll be happy to always participate. So on that note, thank you everyone for your kind participation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my seasoned Rotary leader and Peace Fellow, for your time. And thank you for your sacrifice. We appreciate you tremendously. Silvanus, please tell me that your network is stable now. I'm using Style to buy time for you. If we log out, that would be the end from these quarters. Can you present now? Hello, Silvanus.
Oh, yes, I am available. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You really have to breeze through it. What's the title of your presentation?
Let me check. The title of my presentation is Building Sustainable Peace.
Are you sure you're the one that did this works? That is not the title of your presentation.
Building positive peace. Sorry about that.
I'm just pulling your legs. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, it's coming right up.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Silvanus Doino, and I am doing this as part of my challenge for the IEP ambassadorial. Part of my project for the IEP ambassadorial attainment. The title of this project is Building Positive Peace: The Role of Community Peace Champions. Now, let me explain the background. The Community Peace Champions is a cohort program of CREEP Africa initiative that is established just to help drive sustainable peace. This project is informed by IEP's GPI and PPI reports. Of course, the IEP, the GPI and PPI reports are regular annual reports that informs on. Please just return back to the previous slide. Maybe we can just speak on this positive of peace. What is peace? And hold on here. So it's just an annual report that informs on the status, the level of peace across the different parts of the world. We'll look at what is peace. We start with what is peace. For us here, peace is a condition where people live together with dignity, safety, choice, and opportunity. It is a state of freedom from fear, wants, or prejudice. And what we are tackling as through the community peace champions is how we can be able to leverage the idea, the knowledge of positive peace as being taught by the IE, as being, of course, the research that is being annually being done by IEP, to be able to implement programs that will also drive sustainability across the different communities that we are working with. You can get to the next slide. Okay, to understand this, to understand positive peace guarantees a society where rights of individual, where right of every individual is respected, institutions are fair, conflicts are managed peacefully, and economic and social opportunities are shared. And we are actually working around this. We are actually working, putting up this project to ensure that we use this to drive activities around these key areas. But very importantly is the emphasis on the rights of others, which for me, my presentation actually emphasized mainly on the rights of others, which for me is can actually guarantee. I'm saying that for me can guarantee, can also drive the other pillars of positive peace. Out of the 8 of them, if we can be able to understand the rights of others, it can also drive growth in the economy, can drive the building of strong institutions, can drive the building of course, the freedom of information, the free flow of information, and the likes of all of them. Please, the next slide. I'm just trying to run through. Sorry about this. So what is positive peace in all what we have? In all what we have, I gave the definition earlier. What is positive peace is different from the positive. There is a positive peace, there is negative peace. So this was actually supposed to come before the other slide. Anyway, okay, let's move forward, please. The next slide, please. Hello, doctor, the next slide. Just the very next one. Hello, doctor, the next one, just the next one after these 8 pillars of positive peace. Okay. So we move on to how the Community Peace Champions Project builds positive peace. Yeah, how the Community Peace Champions build positive peace. Upon the successful completion of this project, I decided that we should put up the Community Peace Champions to drive initiatives that empower local leaders, including youth leaders, traditional leaders, community-based organizations, women, and security agents. This project help us to equip them with peace building and leadership skills. It also help to promote some dialogue activities and cooperation, engage with stakeholders, engage with different groups of stakeholders in advocacy and of course peace building issues. And of course, very important positive is some projects that will also help to drive human rights. Should I use that? Yeah, to promote human rights and security of opportunity for the marginalized. Within how we intend to do this. The next slide, please. Which is the last one. How we intend to do this Community Peace Champions project is in such a way that Doctor, the next slide, the last one. Hello, Doc. The last
It's
slide,
there, it's your
please.
network. Just be patient. Is your
Okay.
network already changed?
Which I have already spoken about. Couple of trainings. We are going to partner with, take advantage of the network we have, partner with different organizations and individuals to put up training opportunities in some trainings in peace building, leadership, public speaking are all within the same, are all within that basket. And we also intend to use them, use the community peace champions to represent CRIP Africa initiative at local and national and of course international events to also be able to drive, to help support CRIP Africa activities, to support CRIP in designing and implementing programs at various levels, and identify organizations in communities with similar values as we have in CRIP Africa to also be able to partner with and collaborate. We are also going to take advantage of this to implement, to plan and implement campaigns around youth development and community engagement, advocacy, all those kind of programs. We also want to use this opportunity, lastly, to resolve, to make some recommendation that will help to drive career growth and opportunities for youth development. So this is just what we are looking at, and we believe that it is important that we match these, we synchronize this with the use of the positive positive peace pillars, and most importantly, working ensure with the hindsight of the fact that every individual deserves a dignity, a right to dignity, a right to, of course, the universal human rights, as we all know. So this is my presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. I'm happy we were able to finally present as we were winding down, and that would have been meant that you were left out. With no further waste of time, I want to yield the floor to Rotary BC to start her assessment with you. My activator, ma, please, a quick one.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I see. Initially, I thought we had too much of theories and definitions, but unfortunately for him, I think he's worked up because of the network, and this didn't allow even me to follow him properly. But overall, I think he has a good project if he can articulate it properly. I think it's a good project to have community peace champions. But I couldn't follow properly because of the network issues. Maybe I have here, maybe it's his own, I do not know. But I think if I have to, close my eyes and recommend, I think he had a good presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, ma. Return Ignatius, please.
Okay, I think I already made my vote of thanks, but that notwithstanding, we are still on the same process. I have to come back again. I have to push back that one. What I would like to say is that just like what Ambisi has mentioned, at the initial time it was a bit of clumsy, but the latter part of it, he started kind of streamlining his activities, which was quite good. So I wouldn't want to make much comments on this, but let's just it's a good one. Congratulations, and move to the next stage. But still, you need to really improve on your research proposal writing, and then that will also help us more to make use of you when you start being a positive peace activator or IEP ambassador, so we can work together with you with a more contribution to what Rotary is doing. Rotary is doing all this is not to give you a certificate, not for you to answer IEP ambassador, but just for you to also support an existing projects and programs that Rotary they are doing, at different levels. So on that note, my chair, I think I will try to, or I will say it's a good one, and then let's move into the next step. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ignatius. Those days when we were growing up, we used to pray that the lecturer or teacher marking our scripts should either be tired or the wife
Yes.
should make him happy. So if you people are going to pass Silvanus, then we need to revisit Benga, Okoli, Amina, Billy, and all those people, because I think his presentation was below par, really. But I think we've been battered and beaten, spending 3 hours on this. So what I would say is I'm glad that some of these individuals are still on the call. We asked them to rejig a few things and get back to us so that we can put in some good tongue of reports to IEP on their behalf. And in the same vein, I will ask that Silvanus should touch up a few things. I'm not really convinced, but network is trying to deceive us that he had something going. And just like George and Doctor said, that it's something is there, something is there. I want to believe something is there. But please touch it up, be more specific. Let's see here the intervention. Let's see the intervention. Same goes to Benga, same goes to Uzamaka, same goes to Peter Lumakinju, and same goes to Amina Billy. Some of the individuals we felt really were a bit off. So having said that, we will still put Silvanus on that probation till we are really convinced. On this note, we want to say thank you to...
One second, my chair, before you get to conclusion, please, just 1 minute.
Sir.
No,
Okay.
One thing about this kind of things are you have your discretion to even when all the judges have said this.
Yes, sir.
We are not going to revisit, and we won't waste all this time
Not at all.
to after we revisit something. So you can use your discretion and based on your own comments, and
Yes.
add up and move the last person back. Let him just do 1 or 2 things before he promoted. Let him be on the same par with others.
Of course, he is. He
Yeah,
is,
but
sir.
we are not revisiting. We are not going to revisit other ones.
No, not at all.
Let it be on how it's being assessed, and so that we maintain the same standard, that kind of stuff. So that's what, so that we don't really make this a little bit of.
No. All the others won't be reassessed either. Time is very slim, but we must see their commitment to it. They must put in more effort. So we've asked that once they tinker with a few things, they should send it to me privately. I'll be communicating to IEP first thing tomorrow morning and sending this list and how satisfied we are. I think while on the call, someone has already sent hers. If we get this in good time, we will. If we don't, then it remains as it is, because we really need to sweat for it. Having said that, I want to really, really specially thank our judges. Spending this amount of time and commitment, listening to everyone. It's exciting, but it takes so much work. I know how busy all of you are, and I really, really appreciate this. Things we do for Rotary, things we do for humanity, things we do for the love we have for peace building and national development. Someone have also asked what next. So what next is that we shall communicate IEP. What we've done here today shall be from a report, which we will make public, send to them via email with evidentials, and also publicize on our social media. We've done this in the past. Keep in mind, this is the 5th year we are doing this, and we've through this means gotten a lot of people across the line. Please, when you get across the line, let this not just be another certificate in your long records or long evidentials of certificates. We need you in the field. We need you to do a lot of work in your communities and across or beyond your communities. That's why we were most excited when we saw this thing being really brought to the macro level of an estate, macro level of neighborliness, and things of this nature. We thank you all once again for your time, especially the presenters, but most especially the judges. with this said, I want to now yield the floor to Assistant District Secretary Emeka Ilebunam, who is the National Chairman of all Positive Peace Activators in Nigeria and the liaison coordinator for all Positive Peace Activators in West and Central Africa, to give us his final remarks and close the meeting accordingly. Thank you very much, everyone.
Wow. Chair, thank you so much for this opportunity. So I just said, wow, what a night it has been, 3 hours plus for peace. So it means that peace is possible if we work for it. It also shows that nothing happens if nothing happens. And then something happens if something happens. What we have demonstrated this evening is actually giving time, talent, and treasure to peace. And I'd like to congratulate all of us who are peace builders, aspiring peace builders in mind, body, soul, and spirit. Thank you so much, my chair, for a wonderful work. I don't have to be saying anything more about you. You know my thoughts about what you're doing, the capacity you bring to the things we do, the intellectual, stress you go through, the stakeholder management you carry on your shoulders to make sure that we keep going on this path. All I can say is that success awaits you where it should await you, and within time, it will land us where it's supposed to land us. So thank you so much for everything you do, for putting this together, for even the opportunity personally. Thank you so immensely. Let me thank also the co-judges. I think I listened to my sister Yomila Inka the other time. He was talking about learning a lot of things. Yes, we came in as judges. We've been doing it for a long time, this and that and that. But every opportunity to talk together and look through this is always an opportunity to learn a lot, both from within ourselves as judges and even from the presenters. We learn a lot of things from you as well. And I hope that we all understand that we are all partners in trying to put up an excellent foot forward. What we are trying to do here is to make sure that when we all present ourselves as people who are peace builders using the methodology of positive peace activation, that we know that no matter who we put in front there to speak, we are confident that as long as the person comes from within our fold, we will go to sleep knowing that the person have gone through what we put in place and will represent us very well. So for those of us who have presented, God bless you. Thank you so much for even agreeing to do this. It's not everyone that wants to go through this stress, but you even agreed to do it. You took your time, you prepared your presentations, you did your researches, and you have also come to keep vigil with us this evening. You presented yourself to us not because we are perfect, but because you know there is a process and there's a framework and there's structure to do this. Thank you so much. We really applaud and appreciate you so much. We keep working to advance the cause of peace together. We are all in the field together and we'll all be meeting from time to time. So congratulations to those of you who have received the nod, at this time, but more especially to those who have received a second chance to make a first impression. Yours is even better because that's an opportunity to even make it much better. You know that we are here for you. Nobody fails. We don't have failure in the dictionary. Fail means first attempt in learning. So we go back and we make it better. And I know that we are all here for you. The chairman is there for you to, pick up whatever we need to pick up, make sure that we push you to where you need to go. So thank you so immensely for accepting to do this. May God continue to bless us. Let me also thank on our behalf, use this opportunity, to thank Rotary International. This organization that is wonderful that I put all of us together and made us friends. That's the auspices of which we are doing this. And let me also thank the IEP. All right, this is the two organizations that are giving us opportunity to do what we are doing, giving us the framework, a platform, methodology to do what we are doing. Thank you so much, everyone, immensely. Thank you, BC, Yomila Enka. Thank you, Dr. Ignatius. Thank you to all the presenters. I cannot mention all of you one after the other, but we love you all. We respect you. We revere you We have topmost regards for you. We know you've done a great job. It's not easy. So let's keep meeting in the field of peace and promoting it together. Let's keep serving humanity through Rotary. Let's keep putting our time, talent, and treasure as much as we can. It's not going to be easy, but if it is easy, then we will not be doing it. Maybe some people in the motor park will be the ones doing it, but because it's because it's difficult, that's why we are called to service. Thank you so much, my chair. May God continue to bless you, strengthen you, and guide you. And may peace reign in our hearts, in our
Amen.
homes, in our
Amen.
community, in our
Amen.
nation, and in the world at large. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Good
Thank
night.
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.